Hello guys, and welcome back to the Tear Down and Stuff channel. Today we are going to be doing something a bit different today, as you can see with the tier list. So we are going to be ranking every single James Bond film. Now you might know I'm a James Bond fan, which I am. I'm a very big James Bond fan. But there's a couple of things I want to announce for. First off, we're really close to 10 subs, and I think I promised it. I think getting over it part 1 maybe, I don't remember. It's one of those videos. Getting part 1 or 2, I think. Which at 10 subs I would speedrun getting over it, so make sure to subscribe if you want to see me do that. But yeah, also, I also want to thank Mr. Mole for giving me the idea. He suggested this idea to me, and I thought it was a really good idea, so shout out to him. But yeah, also spoilers, because I'm going to be talking about the endings of the film, so if you don't want spoilers, go watch all the films. It only takes about a month probably. But yeah, I also don't know if all the films are here, but I don't know. I guess we'll figure out when I realise there's like freaking Tomorrow Never Dies in here. Anyway, let's start off with Skyfall, I guess, because that's the first one here. So I think Skyfall's pretty good, very good or good. I think the only thing that pushes it to very good, I love that sequence when the guy dressed up the villain in it blows like a hole in this tube train tunnel, and Bond thinks he missed him. Then a tube train comes through the tunnel and tries to hit him. I think that's a great scene. Also, the scene at James Bond's house is also really good. So make sure to keep on watching to see which is my favourite Bond film overall, because I'll say which one is my favourite. Because I'm going to be putting quite a few in this perfect tier, but only one is actually going to be my favourite one. What's this Aparo do? Oh, maybe you can make a new tier. So I'm drinking some stuff because it's a very epic raspberry lemonade. Very good. Anyway, For Your Eyes Only. Good or very good. It's quite a solid film. I think good. Now, what I love about For Your Eyes Only, I'm going to start with that, is it is very, you know, it's got some of that James Bond thriller in it. I love the death of the, I don't know his name, but the villain that's in the car, and James Bond, like, pushes him, or he, like, throws a key to him or something, and then he says something, and then he pushes the car off the cliff. That's a very good description, by the way. Also, I love that sequence when they're climbing up the mountain, and everything. I think that's really good. But yeah, it is, that's it. That's a really good film, I think, For Your Eyes Only. It's just not as good as Skyfall. Ooh, GoldenEye. Let's see. Post your predictions in the comments right now. Also, by the way, I did want to say, where did GoldenEye go? What the did it just... Oh, there it is. I wanted to say that, don't go attacking me in the comment section if I didn't put your favourite Bond film in the perfect tier. I put it in the rubbish tier. Don't go, like, attack me, please, because it's my opinion, okay? You can have your own opinion. And even better, post your favourite Bond film in the comments if you want. And we've got GoldenEye. Great film. It's, like, just amazing. This film is, like, great. It got a video game named after it. Yes, I have played that game. And no, I haven't finished it because, I just forget to. But, yeah, that game is very good. But the film's solid. I love that sequence in St. Petersburg, I think. Or is it Moscow? Where, like, they're sitting in the staff car and he's, like, captured her and they both, like, look behind them and then a tank comes through the wall. I think that sequence is great. I love the sequence where Alec, like, almost emerges from the darkness in that memorial yard or whatever it was. And I love it's almost got, it's like, almost based on communist Russia, despite it being when the Russian Federation was formed. So it's kind of interesting that. You only live twice. You only live twice. Okay, got the exclusive teardown and stuff singing there. It's just, like, I can't help when I see this film to sing the bloody theme song to it. Right. I think it's a very good film. I think You Only Live Twice is a classic. I mean, if you want to get someone into James Bond, I would show them this film. Because this film, You Only Live Twice, is just, like, classic Bond, like, evil megalomaniac trying to just take over the world. It's just... iconic Bond, to be honest. It's iconic Bond. Like, if you name a more iconic Bond film, I'll wait, and I bet there's going to be somebody. Okay, now I do want to remind people, don't attack me in the comments, because this one is going to be very controversial. From Russia with Love is only on the good tier. It's only going to go on the good tier. Now, you might be asking, why are you shoving From Russia with Love on the good tier? Well, I prefer the more action-packed James Bond films. And I gotta admit, I do like that scene with Red Grant, I think his name is. It's something like that. Where he's fighting him in the train. I think that's quite like a... It's like a really almost dark fight scene, but it's not like gruesome, if that makes sense. It's just kind of dark. So yeah, that's going in the good tier. ASMR moment. Anyway, oh yeah, I don't know. Okay, this one's going in. Nah, rubbish tier, 100%. This film is so hard to follow the plot on. I still don't get the plot to this day. It's just... it's just so bad. That's... You can quote me on that. You can quote the... is my description of Quantum of Solace. I need a breath after that. Anyway, next up we have Moonraker. I think it's good. I like the whole space station idea. I love that sequence in Venice. And I also love the bit with the ski lifts, I think. And like the ski lifts stop and like Jaws jumps onto James Bond's ski lift. It's really good. The thing I don't like about this film though is the fact I feel like they tried to stretch it out a bit more for a longer film, which I'm not complaining about because like it's a good film. It just feels like some sequences that are stuck in there for no reason but just to extend the watch time. And yeah, it seems a bit again. And this is another one where I feel like Blofeld should have been. Yeah, I think Fiore's only Blofeld should have been in, and I think this one Blofeld should have been in as well. But yeah, that's my two complaints about these two. Right, next one, Spectre. Ooh, this is going to be a controversial one since I know a lot of people don't like this film. Personally, I don't see what's wrong with it, so I'm just gonna... Bam. Nah, I don't think it's perfect. I think it's very good. It's very, very good. I think it's above Skyfall, though, so I'm gonna order them, which I think they should go in the different tiers. So there, that's the order. So, like, this side is, like, the top of it. I know GoldenEye looks like it's the top of Perfect, but... I will leave it till a secret till the end to keep on watching to see which one my favourite Bond film is in the perfect tier. Anyway, what I like about Spectre, I love that sequence at the beginning in Mexico City. I think they nailed that. I love the fight with the Spectre agent in the helicopter. It's great. I also love the bit when they go to the Spectre headquarters and they're like that big long room with like Blofeld sitting at the head of the table. It's just honestly an incredible film overall. I definitely recommend it. But I think if you do want to try and get someone eased into James Bond, like I said, I'll say this again, show them You Only Live Twice, since it's like I said, really good one to sort of ease people into Bond, if that makes sense. They're not too sure on it. By the way, it doesn't look like there's any Never Say Never Again, but that would go in rubbish tier if you were wondering. And I'll tell you why. Look, just imagine there's a invisible Never Say Never Again in the rubbish tier. So, yeah, the reason that is in there is because I think Thunderball does such a better job portraying the Thunderball story than Never Say Never Again does. So I feel like that's something, but also it's kind of a bit more like... it feels like it's a bit niche. I mean, it's an unofficial Bond film, first off, so... Yeah, that's something, but yeah. Right, so let's go on to Man with the Golden Gun. I think I'm gonna slap this in good or very good. I think I love this film. I love the whole assassin plot line. Hey, is it on Her Majesty's? Oh, they think this is on Her Majesty's Secret Service. Yeah. Okay, I just want to make sure that was there. Anyway, I really like the assassin plot line. The man who basically can kill anybody with a shot, and he charges them millions. It's like great. It's great. But yeah, it's just great. I love the sequence with the car. When the car, like, I think there's this bit where they're in where are they? Shanghai maybe? And there's like the car, no, Hong Kong, that's where they are. And the car like drives up this ramp and it like does like a flip and then lands back on. I think that sequence is epic. Also, his death is great with the whole illusion thing in the funhouse zone, whatever you call it. And I also noticed this recently, but when Bond walks into that sort of Al Capone style area, you can hear like a jazzy theme of the Man with Golden Gun theme. Hang on, let me just... yeah. It's sort of a jazzy theme, so it's like da 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 dee dum ba dum da 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 dum. That's what it goes like. So yeah, it's quite good. I love that little Easter egg. There's a couple of times now. I think in Live and Let Die, you'll see that coming up in the list in a minute. That also happens. But yeah, next up is Living Daylights. It's so tempting to sing the song. It's just like, oh god. Right, Living Daylights. Top tier material. Again, I've got to remind yourself it's not ordered in the top tier, so you just have to wait till the end of the video to see what my favourite Bond film is. Anyway, what I love about this film, it's great. The song is amazing, possibly one of the best, but you'll see what the best one definitively for me is. And yeah, you will see which your favourite one is. But yeah, look, I love this sequence. I love the whole murdering plot. And I like Saunders' death, despite me quite liking the character of Saunders. I love his death because it almost motivates Bond to go kill... oh, goodness me, it's on the tip of my tongue. What's his name? Trasavio? Vio? It's something like that, isn't it? Okay, I'm going to look it up after this video. I might just look it up now, actually, like, what's his name? Nah, I don't think I will. But yeah, it's somebody. It's like his little, like, henchman. And then also, I love that sequence at the end when he's in the war room and you got, like, everything. And I love the joke at the end when the guy falls onto the table dead and then a bust of the Duke of Wellington falls on him and he says, and then Bond says, he met his Waterloo. I think that's great. Yeah, it's a great film overall. I'm not going to comment if it's my favourite or not. Right, next up is On Her Majesty's Secret Service, I believe. It's very pixelated, but I recognise that Lazenby's face, even though it is cut in half. Anyway, let's go on. Let's put this one. Okay, people are definitely going to hammer me for this. Meh. Oh my god, guys, 10 out of stuff. It's literally got unfair opinions on James Bond films. I'm going to go come to his house and stuff and blah 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 blah. No, shut up. Those people just need to shut up. You might as well just leave now. Any people who's about to do that, just leave. Okay, this film isn't great because Lazenby's a good Bond actor. I'm not saying Lazenby's a bad Bond actor. I think he was just put in a bad Bond film. I think that's the issue. I think him getting married's good, but I don't get why they have to kill her off so quickly. Really? Like, I would have liked it for James Bond to actually have a wife, so he can stop. Okay, I'm not even going to finish that sentence. Yeah, but I'm sure you know what I mean. If you've watched James Bond before, I'm sure you'll know what I mean. But yeah, the bit I do like about this film is the bit when they go on the racetrack, and they're like, with all the race cars, and I also like the toboggan scene with Blofeld. Also, I feel like Blofeld's inclusion in this film is a bit shoved in as well. That's the only other thing I'd say. Right. Yes, this is also something people will hammer me for. I'm just going to do it. This film is terrible. Actually, yeah. I think Quantum of Solace is slightly better. You know what? I might move Quantum of Solace back up a tier, maybe. Like, because Quantum of Solace is just like... you know what? I'm going to move Quantum of Solace up a tier. I think I like it better than this film. This film is so bad, and I think it's so overrated. I mean, like, I know some people didn't like it, but it's like, what I'd say about it is the fact that they kill off Blofeld. That's fair. They did it in For Your Eyes Only, but in For Your Eyes Only is an epic way to go. He dumped him down an incineration plant tower. That seems like an epic way to go. So, like, but I feel like the way they did it in No Time to Die, Bond just straight up, like, I know he was trying to kill Blofeld or not kill him. He wasn't trying to kill him. He was trying to, like, I think he got really angry and tried to hit him, but he had this stuff on his hand that made it so he can't. It's complicated. I don't even get it, but yeah. Positives about yeah, I don't really get it, but it's like, yeah, positives about this film. I will say a couple things positive about it, being that I like that scene at the beginning in Italy when he like is being chased. I love that scene when he drives up the ramp, like almost like vertical ramp. I don't know how that works, but don't ask me. I mean, it probably does, to be honest, because he did have quite a bit of speed. Anyway, I'm no scientist. What was I going to say? Oh, yeah. So, the other thing I'd say about this film is I love that fight scene in Cuba with the Spectre meeting. I liked it how they were trying to kill him with that gas or whatever, but they did it but they switched it so it only killed the Spectre agents instead of Bond. I loved that. I thought it was quite a little comical gruesomeness joke there. Oh, yeah, something I haven't mentioned is the gruesomeness of some of these films. So, yeah, they're quite brutal, especially Spectre. I'd say is quite brutal. And no, Skyfall. I don't know. Spectre and Skyfall and this one are all quite brutal films. Also, they kill off Felix in this one, which is just like Felix was like one of my favorite characters in James Bond ever, to be honest. So it's kind of sad they killed that guy off. Right. I think. Hang on. Yeah, that's a Spy Who Loved Me, I think, because that's Stromberg's base. Yeah. Right, so something I haven't touched on yet, but I'll touch on it now, is the villains of the films. Also, like the video, so I might do a part 2 of this, but it's with the villains anyway. Anyway, that's good, I think. Spy Who Loved Me is a good film. It seems like, almost like, You Only Live Twice, but it's almost like, it's like You Only Live Twice, but because they're trying to like cause a big world war in that, and it's very similar, the plot, you'll see. And I have a bit of a theory for this, which is they wanted to try and include Blofeld in this film, but they couldn't, because at that point it's very split. 2 people own the licensing rights to James Bond, so I think they tried to include Blofeld in this film because they couldn't, because Never Say Never Again released around the same time. But yeah, yeah, but it's very similar to You Only Live Twice, which isn't a bad thing. I like it. I also love the submarine car. I actually have like a little model of it that I bought quite a while ago now, actually. Probably like 2022, late 2022 I bought it. It's like this really cool model of the submarine car. And it's like really good. Yeah, I love that car. The Lotus E-Spirit? No, Lotus E-Spirit, that's what it was called. Anyway, this film's great. I love that scene in the pyramids. It's quite scary, that scene in the pyramids. When I was younger, I think this was probably the first James Bond film I ever watched, Spy Who Loved Me, so it's quite nostalgic. But remember when I was younger, that pyramid scene with Jaws really scared me, though. Like, when he sort of like, the guy runs into there, and he tries to lock himself in, and then Jaws bites through the lock. It's really a memorable and scary scene. It's quite creepy. And I think that's a decent film, to be honest. Nah, it's going up to very good. You know what? Yeah. Right, whilst we're on the topic of good Bond films, we're gonna get License to Kill. This very close. I think it might go up here. Yeah, that's definitely. Both of the Dalton films, I know, going up here. Because License to Kill's great. I love the whole plot. I think I like that guy who had the pocket knife. What's his face? Like, the guy who, like... Oh, God, I don't even remember his name. It's Dario? I remember it's like Mario, but like... I think it was Dario. I think that's his name, but yeah. I love it when, like, his, like, whole... Okay, I don't know if I'm allowed to mention this word on YouTube. His whole special substances transporting factory building was about to blow up. That sounds so weird. His whole special substances building was about to blow up. And Dario, or whatever his name was, just stayed behind to make sure Bond was dead. But then it kind of ended up so he got killed. It's quite good. I like it. Negatives to this film, I don't like how they killed off Felix's wife so early, like James Bond. I think it's even earlier than James Bond's wife, because literally, like, as soon as they got back from the wedding, Felix got kidnapped and his wife got killed. So, like, yeah. But I think this film's a bit more gruesome. I think it's the first proper gruesome film. Like, it's quite gruesome. Anyway, next we have World Is Not Enough. Right, where can I stick this film? Oh, this film isn't great. It might go with meh. Yeah, I think that's pretty good. Yeah, meh. Seems good. But yeah. The World Is Not Enough is, it's alright, to be honest. It's all right. It's all right. It's like I don't really get who's the main villain, Renard or Electra King. That's what I struggle with in this film. Because I always thought Electra King was the main villain, but then it was like, when the whole climax of the film was there, it seemed like Renard turned into the main villain. Because he was the one who survived longer, and he was the one who was sort of engaged in the plan in the first place. So, and considering there was a whole Stockholm Syndrome thing with Renard and Electra King, I think Renard is the main villain. Shoot me, but I think that's the case. I think Renard is right. Next one. What did he say? Look down, look up, look down, look out, Thunderball. What? Does that even say look up? I don't know. I'm not wearing my glasses, which isn't great for this video with repixelated things. But anyway, this is Thunderball. Oh, Thunderball. That's going up there. But I think it could go a bit higher. I think it's better than Skyfall. But yeah, Thunderball, what I like about it is the whole underwater fight scene in it. I love that bit with all the people and they're like underwater fighting Largo's men. I think Emilio Largo or Molio Largo is great. I also like the fight scene with Largo with the boat where he has to they're fighting, but every so often they dive for the wheel to scare out of the way some rocks. And I think Thunderball is far superior to Never Say Never Again. Shoot me again, but I think Never Say Never Again is not exactly loved. Kind of like the original Casino Royale. By the way, original Casino Royale, haven't seen it, but heard people say it's crap. So it's going in the bottom tier as well. Right, Dr. No. This is going to be a hard one to put. I think it's either meh or good. I think bottom of good. Now, the issue I have with Dr. No is that it's the first Bond film, sure, so I get how it's good, but but I've got to be honest, it drags a bit. Some bits. I don't think they really had the James Bond formula. He was still sort of almost like a sort of just normal spy, not really a sort of explode, boom, boom, there's explosions everywhere sort of spy. That's why I think From Russia With Love, but I think From Russia With Love did it superiorly better than Dr. No. Actually, I'm moving From Russia With Love up to the bottom of very good, because I think it is a lot better than For Your Eyes Only. By the way, I think that's the book cover For Your Eyes Only, not the film poster, which is kind of weird. Anyway, next up we have okay, I don't know if I'm allowed to say that name on YouTube, so we're just gonna call it Octo. Okay, Octo. It's good. Okay, it's a good film. I think it's good. I think middle good. I think that's good for it. But yeah, I don't know if I'm allowed to say that name on YouTube. If I'm honest, you can go look up the name of the film yourself. But yeah, basically, it's alright, I think. I think it's alright. I might even move it down to the bottom of good. Nah, you know what? I think it's worse than Dr. No. Yeah, it's alright. It's not like terrible. Oh, God. Oh. It's not like terrible, but it's like. But it's like. It's not great. it's not great, really. It's not like terrible. I love that sequence at the beginning of the plane when it tries to fly through, and then the missile following it flies through the warehouse, but then it instead of it flying the plane, it's now the missile just blows up midair and blows up the warehouse. I think that bit's great. I'm trying to think of other positives. Oh, I've got another positive. I'm running out of positives. I like the fact Octopus. Oh, okay, maybe YouTuber didn't say that. I didn't say that. That name's pretty rude. The main villain was into this woman, but then I think it sort of turned into this other guy halfway through the film. And I think that's quite good, almost the sort of false villain. Right, this one I feel like will also get stabbed, but for the wrong reasons. Being this film, it's very controversial with not being very good. Diamonds Are Forever is definitely good. Definitely a very good film. I don't really see what's wrong with it. People say I can kind of. It's a bit cheesy, but that's about it, really. Right. Tomorrow Never Dies. Ooh, this one is a hard one. It's the first film that was not ranked from. Not ranked. What do you mean? Not done from the books. This was the first film when they ran out of novels, I think. All the other ones before this one were based on an Ian Fleming novel, which, if you don't know, James Bond is based on some books. I know, it's kind of shocking, but I think it's pretty common knowledge now it was. But anyway, this is going bottom of good, I think. Just below Octopussy. Nah, actually, I think it's better than Octopussy. I love it. I just love the plot of the news anchor being the baddie, and I love his death, Elliot Carver's death, where James Bond like comes up to him and he's on the terminal and he thinks he's going to get away. Then James Bond holds him against the terminal and he's like, well, I've got some breaking news to you, and he starts like doing like a news broadcast and shoves him in front of his like drill pod machine thing, and he gets like shredded. It's just perfect villain death. That's probably one of the best villain deaths in the whole series. But yes, yeah, it's great, really, to be honest. It's one of the best villain deaths. I love Mr. Stamper. He's a great henchman. Negatives for this film would be... negatives for this film would be the fact that, it's just a bit... At times, it feels like it drags a bit. And I also feel like they've got forced inclusion sometimes. With Wei Lin, I don't like that scene with the karate and that. I just don't think it's great. Another perfect one, Goldfinger. I don't really have any negatives for this one, actually. So, it's basically the whole plot is this man called Auric Goldfinger and his henchman Oddjob try and blow up Fort Knox with his Operation Grand Slam, which sounds kind of weird now I say it like that. But yeah, it does be a baseball term if you don't know. But anyway, and Goldfinger, basically being Goldfinger, he tries to gas all these people who guard Fort Knox and like make them all die, basically, with this thing called nerve gas, which is a substance that turns up quite a few times in the series, and it was introduced here in Goldfinger. It's also the third film of the series, and it's the first one that got the proper James Bond narrative together, because I said with Dr. No and From Russia with Love, the main criticisms I had were it didn't really get the James Bond narrative together at that time. But yeah, this one, I think this is when they first started it, and I think it's perfect. I love it when they think they've gassed all the soldiers, and then they all wake up at the same time and start marching towards Fort Knox, and then absolutely destroy all Goldfinger's men. I think it's great. And the sequence with Oddjob's death scene has got to be one of the most iconic in the series. The way James Bond grabs the wire, jabs it into the pole, Oddjob gets electrocuted, and then that's it. I just think it's great. And also Oddjob, I've got to mention the hat thing. Now, I've seen people before rank this film quite low just because of how comical that hat is. I don't think it's very comical, because I'm pretty sure in one of the scenes, James Bond tries to save this like woman, but then Oddjob throws a hat and she gets beheaded or something with the hat. It's pretty gruesome. You just don't see any blood because it's the 1960s, what do you expect? Anyway, Die Another Day. Oh dear. This is, I don't know, Die Another Day wasn't great. I'm going to rank it in rubbish, but I think it's top of rubbish. Bottom of meh. It's just, Die Another Day, the issue I have with it, it's meant to be the 40th anniversary for the series, a big milestone, and they came out with this crap. So, basically this film is about this guy who says, I don't want the world to exist anymore for some reason. I don't even get the plot myself, but yeah, Gustav Graves, I think he's a pretty decent villain. He's meant to be this North Korean general who got killed, but then he actually gets revived for some reason. I don't know how he gets revived. The only thing I really like was that sequence at the end with the aeroplane. And I loved it how he redirected the beam, because he had this big laser thing coming down from space, and it made the aeroplane fly through it, so it all got like busted. And I love it when Gustav Graves is standing over James, and he's like, "Look, a parachute for you and me." Throws one out the window. He's like, "Oopsie daisies." Then James pulls his parachute, gets sucked into a propeller, and there goes him. I must admit, Miranda Frost isn't a great henchwoman though. I'm gonna be honest, she's not great. It's just, she seems a bit, it's a bit dull. She doesn't really have a character, personality, not very colourful really. It's just quite dull, really. And the other thing I'd say is I quite like that scene in Iceland with the big palace building. That was pretty epic. But yeah. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Casino Royale. this is the film with the best theme song of all the James Bond series. Like, look it up. It's amazing. It's called You Know My Name. It's great. And I love the name of that song as well, because it's You Know My Name, being... This film's been made like about 3 times, but this one's definitely the best. So, the things I like about it, I love this bit with they're playing poker, I think it is, poker, blackjack, one of those games. And I like it how they sort of, every time they have a break, like they try and like almost, they're at each other's throats trying to win that poker game. I love it. I also love the sequence near the beginning, when they're in, I think it's Madagascar, where the construction site sequence, and also I love the bit in the embassy when it's like he's being like surrounded by soldiers, but instead of him handing over the guy, he shoots the guy in the head, blows up all the explosives, and it all goes boom, and then like everybody dies apart from Bond, of course. The other thing I liked as well is the sequence in Miami with the airport. I think that's great. I love the whole thing when the guy thinks he's got the upper hand. He's about to blow up the plane, but then James Bond attached the bomb to his trousers instead of his fuel truck he was going to use to blow up the plane with, and then just boom, the guy just spontaneously combusts. I love that sequence. I also love the bit in Venice with the sinking building. I think that's great. I think the death of one of the Bond girls in that film, there's 2 I think, but no, that one, I can't remember her name, it doesn't really matter. But I think that's so depressing. But I also think it's a bit stupid. For being someone who knows how to do CPR, it's kind of stupid to see James Bond CPR'd near, like, where you're like, right, so, you know, like, sort of like, just below your neck. He's like doing CPR just below your neck, and I'm like, that's not where your lungs are. Your lungs are there. And he did like 2 CPRs before trying to go in for the mouth to mouth breath or something. It's called something like that. But like, and you're meant to do CPR for a lot longer before you even try that. So like, I think it's just a cheesy joke to make James Bond kiss a woman. So yeah. Anyway, next one, Live and Let Die. A lot of people don't like this film. I think a lot of people just like the theme song. The theme song's really good. Look it up. But basically, I think it's great, to be honest. I don't think it's perfect. I think it's top of very good. You just move it to top of very good. I think it's great. Live and Let Die. I love that boat chasing sequence, and I just love lots of things about it, to be honest. It's just great, to be honest, most of the film. It's great. I love that boat chase, like I said. I also love the sequence where he, where he sort of like on the train and he throws that guy out the window with a false arm. Anyway, yeah, Live and Let Die is great overall. Anyway, View to a Kill. Again, great theme song. Look it up. I think it goes mid tier. Okay, that's it. Right. Reason I like View to a Kill, it's very good. It's a very good film. Good narrative. Basically, I love Christopher Walken as Max Zorin as well. And Grace Jones as Mayday. They both are the shining stars of this film. Roger was looking a bit old for this film. He was 58. Like, that's pushing it a bit. I love that sequence of San Francisco where they're in with the Los Angeles, isn't it? Los Angeles. With the fire truck and the police cars, I think it's great. It's classic, like, Smokey and the Bandit and Dukes of Hazzard that were also around at that time. But yeah, now it's time. Time to reveal which is my favourite James Bond film of all time. Drumroll, please. Right, my favourite James Bond film is GoldenEye. Let me arrange them in the order I think they go. Really quickly. There. That's the order of the top 5 James Bond films, and they're all really close, to be honest. Now, here's something with it. License to Kill is very close to Live and Let Die, or Spectre. That's what's kind of close. It's kind of close between the two, yeah. It's like, between these two and this one, it's very close. I could switch it out for those. Maybe, actually, yeah, maybe like that. That's my James Bond tier list. Tim, if you like it, like the video, and as always, have a nice day. Bye.